Hey guys, welcome to my natural makeup tutorial. I've got Laura here as my model today, and the first product we're using is the Chanel Vitalumiere Aqua Foundation, and this is a water-based foundation that's really good for the natural glow. And Laura's got great skin already, so she doesn't actually need a lot of foundation, the lucky thing. And I'm just buffing this in with a stippling brush from Beige Cosmetics. And you want to make sure your skin is really prepped, because if you buff this in the motion that I'm using, it can cause micro exfoliation, so you've got to make sure that you really have exfoliated and moisturized beforehand. And I'm just making sure I've blended it down the neck. And the next thing I'm using is DiorSkin Sculpt Concealer. This is the lifting and smoothing concealer, and I'm just placing it under the eye area. I'm pretty sure Laura told me she looked like an Indian at this point. I think she looked cute. And I'm just blending it in with the MAC 217 blending brush. This brush is mainly used for eyeshadow, but I really like using it as a blender for concealer. It just gives a more natural finish, and it's never cakey. Like some concealers tend to go cakey under the eyes, but this brush certainly helps blend them out a little bit better. And just make sure you get right into the inner corners, because the darkness does go into the inner corner. And the next product I'm using is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer. And I'm just using the same brush, and I'm just going over any redness that she has. If she had any blemishes, I'd be covering the blemishes with this brush as well. But again, she's lucky and she has really great skin. I'm mainly just going around the nose area, because a lot of people get redness around the nose just from sinuses, and it's just naturally there. And it just gives you a more glowing look if you just conceal that redness. And the next thing I'm using is the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and I'm just putting this on the eyelids so that the eyeshadow will last longer. And it also helps to bring out the color pigment in some eyeshadows. If they're not very pigmented, it helps to set them and make them look a lot more pigmented than they already are. And the first thing I'm using is a light shimmery pink eyeshadow in the inner corners, just to brighten the eye up. And the next color is a bit of a light brown, sort of mauvey color. And it's also shimmery, because I want this look to be very shimmery and very glowing. And I'm just putting this on to her eyelids using an eyeshadow brush from MAC. And I've got to be careful not to go too high up on Laura's eyes, because she's got very in-depth eyes, and if you put too much shadow too high, it just doesn't look right. It just makes her eyelids look too big. And I'm just blending away some of the fallout there with a big fluffy brush. And we're just repeating on the other eye. Laura has a habit of trying to watch me, so she never likes to close her eyes. And I'm just making sure I get it nice and blended. Now, the next shadow that I'm using is a dark brown. This is all from the Body Shop Shimmer Cubes. And the dark brown is just going on her lash line. And I'm just doing the outer crease area. I don't want too much definition, because she already has very defined eyes. So as you can see, it's just in the outer corners, just to give it a little bit more depth. And again, I'm just brushing away the excess and the fallout with a big fluffy brush. And now I'm just using an eyeshadow brush from the Body Shop, and I am just blending out the shadow. The trick to eyeshadow is blend. Blending is your best friend, because blending can fix any sort of mistakes and really help to make your look perfect. And this is the cubes that I was talking about. They're all the eyeshadows that I used. And the next thing I'm using is a designer brand's Kohl liner. This is a dark brown color, because I didn't want to use black, because I think it's just a little bit too much for a natural daytime look. And I'm just lining the upper eyelids, just to give it a little bit more definition. And I'm just making sure that it looks really nice and even. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist with my eyeliner, and I take my time on eyeliner. And I've just winged it out just a tiny weeny bit. And I'm just repeating on the other eye. And I also think it helps to blend your eyeliner as well. Sometimes just because you don't want it too harsh of a line during the day. So you'll see me do that in a second. I'm just using the same brush that I used for the dark eyeshadow. And I'm just blending in that dark brown color, just to make it all flow and just look a bit more natural. How many times have I said natural? And the mascara I'm going to be using is from the Body Shop, and it's the Big and Curvy mascara. This is my favorite mascara. It actually smells amazing. It smells like honey. And normally I would curl her eyelashes before doing this, but Laura doesn't really like the eyelash curler. And the trick to apply, if you're applying makeup to a client, I have them close their eyes for mascara, because it's really horrible having a mascara wand coming at your eye. And if you're anything like me, your eyes are really sensitive and you just won't like it. So I get them to close their eye and I just lift it up a little bit. And of course I let them know that I'm going to be lifting their eyelid so that they don't go and open their eyes halfway through and smudge the mascara. And I'm just repeating on the other eye. I really like this mascara, but I think it could definitely have a better brush. I think the brush is just a little bit too long. And the next thing I'm using is a NYX. It's a face and body bronzer. It gives such a nice glow. I love this bronzer. And I'm just using a Body Shop blush brush to apply it. And I'm just going to apply it to the apples of her cheeks. And I'm going to contour just a little bit as well. She doesn't need too much contouring, and I don't want it to be too harsh. So I'm just applying it to the apples of her cheeks and just a little bit up to towards the temple area. Just in that classic C shape. And it just gives that little bit of definition, as you can see when she turned her head then. And just repeating on the other side. She's having a nice chat to me here. That's why we've decided to do a voiceover, because we just end up talking too much. And I'm just blending out all the bronzer. This is my bigger, fluffier brush at the moment. I forgot to show it. I'm blending that all out. Now I'm just fixing up the under eye area back with my MAC 217. I'm just putting a little bit more concealer under the eyes. Sometimes you need to go back and do this if you've had a little bit of eyeshadow fallout. This next product I'm using is also from the Body Shop. You'd swear I was sponsored from them or something. I'm not. And it's just the eyeshadow powder. Eyebrow powder, sorry. And I'm just filling in her eyebrows just slightly to give a little bit more shape to the face and a little bit more definition. Because I think eyebrows, they just frame your face, and I'm a big eyebrow person. And I'm just setting them with a eyebrow gel. And the next thing I'm using is Honey Trap Lush Lip Balm. I'm just applying this before I apply Laura's lip liner, just to make sure that her lips are nice and soft. And this is the Calvin Klein lip pencil. I think it's called Dusty Rose, but I'll put it in the information bar down below. And I'm just filling in her lips entirely with this. It's a really beautiful color. I really like Calvin Klein lip liners. And then I've got a Napoleon Perdis lip gloss, and it's also another shimmery product. And it's called Gossamer Wings. And I'm just applying it to her lips. It gives such a nice sheen. I love these lip glosses. Gorgeous. And we're done. And here's a before and after. Thank you for watching.